need to get an IT guy on this stuff. So it's a different
All right.
look. We've got everybody like set up like a meeting room now.
Yep, I got everyone.
So welcome to the VEP meeting for Thursday. We've had 3 or 4 of these so far, and we decided to go with the webinar format because enough people were signing up that it was becoming cumbersome. Also, we really want to get these webinars going because we're launching this week officially a new series of I don't know, what do you want to call them? Masterclasses, Skip, or what was the official term we came up with?
I know it's what maybe we need to call them master workshops.
Okay.
I don't know.
Master workshops. So what's been asked recently is like we have a lot of one-on-one meetings. Like if you ever look at my schedule, it is packed with people doing coaching or just asking me questions and stuff like that. And so Dana's challenged Skip and I to come up with a way to just get everything going as a masterclass series for VEP subscribers only. And so we're going to be pushing out an email here soon that says you can sign up for an entire series. So as if you were a coaching client, just come to these masterclass series and we will teach you everything from how to build the report to how to get $3,000 of MRR. And we'll be doing it in a webinar session just like this. So Q&As, you guys can be working on your reports, asking questions, and we'll do it just an hour at a time. It's just going to be a quick meeting once a week. We will record them, and you will have at the end of, in my case, in my eight session series, you're going to have the ability to have a report in front of you that you can deliver. Now, this is different from coaching in that I'm not going to give you one-on-one advice. It's just going to be as a group. And Skip has his operational class for taking a different tactic for projects. So Skip, you want to explain that a little bit?
You bet. And so we're going to really dive in. It'll be a little bit more focused on your technical account managers, or maybe even just your account managers, and putting those assessments together. Now, we really like this when it comes up pretty often in the topic of our QBRs. And, you know, if you've heard me talk before, I really think the technical assessment fits really well in a QBR, but we need to be careful in that we separate these out. You know, while we do the assessments in a QBR is not a technical assessment, nor is a technical assessment a QBR. So we kind of want to keep them separate, but they fit well together. And so we'll dive into doing those assessments. Those are really, really important to be able to identify where your clients are, the gaps that they have in their technology stack, and then begin being able to get some projects on the roadmap going forward so that you can, you know, get them compliant with your stack. But along the way, you're going to generate a lot of really, really good project revenue as well. So we're going to walk you through that whole process, very tactical of bringing these up, queuing them up, and talking about how to deliver the meetings and manage the conversation and the information we'll get out of those meetings.
Yeah, so the main goal is you see these webinars come out, you'll get them in an email as VEP subscribers, is that there is a tactical outcome. There is a SMART goal being set here. If you follow through on the workshops, you will have a product that will generate $100,000 of project revenue. You will have a product that will generate $3,000 MR right out the gate. Why do we know this? At least for the VCIO stuff, is because that's what people are doing. That's what my clients do. Like if you have our reports customized and built for your framework, you will be doing this at the end. So if I had the advertisement up right now, you would see that the first series is just going to be talking about how to do a VCIO program. But then this next one, we're going to be talking through the actual tactics of delivery, who to delegate what roles to. For those of you who are larger MSPs, I like to talk about different tricks, like your monthly meetings don't have to be a VCIO. They can be a TAM. They can be an account manager. All the monthly meetings are doing is they're driving people to talk about, that's where you talk about tickets. They get things done. Do you need to adjust anything? The VCIO doesn't need to be present for those meetings. He or she is going to be in the quarterly sessions talking about, okay, where are we going as a company? Annual session, okay, are we getting all of our processes kicked off?
Yep.
And so that's just the first 2 sessions. And as we get towards the end, you'll have built used like use like some of my templates to build your report so that you're having these consistent conversations and you're delivering on a monthly and quarterly basis, and you can delegate those down as much as you want. And so the webinar series is built to teach you tactically everything is done, not just ideation, not just break fix, but actually what should you be doing your first 90 days. And that's going to be the high value item for you guys, is that you're getting this work done and you're moving towards a goal. And what you should be taking from this is how your clients should feel too, is that while you're presenting to them and when you bring in a strategic document, when you bring in a technical assessment, that your clients should feel like they're going somewhere, that they're not just break fix. So you can join the VEP program and you can just like have the tools there, and it's great. You have these resources, but where are you going with it?
Yep.
So that's the difference. So with these webinars this quarter, the remainder of this quarter, I will be tactically showing you how to run a VCIO program. Skip will be showing you tactically how to run a technical account management program or audit program.
Yep.
And then in quarter one of 2020, we'll roll out another one. How to generate more revenue, how to use the product to do more things with your clients. And so we're always about like, send us emails and send us requests on what you want to learn about so we can get those on the schedule as well.
Yeah, we really don't want you guys to use anything in our tools as kind of just a one-off. So I told this kind of silly story the other day in one of my master classes. One or two of you guys might have been in on it, but I thought it was kind of hilarious. So you know, I'm a father in my late 40s. I've got a couple of daughters. So I've been through the Hannah Montana phase. Okay,
I skipped that one.
You're fortunate. Now, if anybody else has been to the Hannah Montana
Justin Bieber
phase,
stage, and that was about as bad as it got.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I know way more about that show than I should. But what I think is so funny about it is one of the characters in it is a guy named Billy Ray Cyrus. And, you know, I'm from Texas, so, you know, country music's just kind of part of the general culture out here. And in my mind, if there was ever a one-hit wonder, it'd be Billy Ray Cyrus, because he had one song. I mean, it was just, you know, insane that, and it was Achy Breaky Heart. You know that song or not, but it was just one of those country songs that just was always out there. And so I know it's a really silly story, but I don't want you guys to be that one-hit wonder. And you come to, you know, the managed service platform and you get linked up with some tools that we have, and you have a QBR, or you have a assessment or a strategic workshop. We really want all of these tools to really flow together. You know, Adam's focusing more on the strategic side. I'm focusing more on the operational side, but he and I are constantly working to make sure that, you know, the things we're focusing on match up. And you know, the way I mention it is everything that we're doing in a QBR should be acting upon things we discovered and identified in our annual. And at the same time, it should be feeding information into the next annual engagement. So, you know, it's a constant process that we have, you know, going on.
Evidently, there's something called Rap Country out there, Chris.
Oh my gosh, that's an abomination. It was bad enough the first time.
So,
I don't think you can improve on that one.
For those of you who haven't seen my illustration on this, it's kind of funny. I have written this like 10 times this week. So let me share my screen here for a second. If I can figure out what I'm doing. So hold on. Otherwise Zoom compresses the crap out of everything. So what I have here is, for those of you who've been in a coaching session with me or have just heard me talk in probably the last 10 days, I've been really hammering this concept home that everybody needs to be implementing in their MSPs if you're running a VCIO program. So you have strategy up here. Learn to spell Adam. And this is where your VCIO lives. And this is great. So guys, the strategy is going to kick off what Skip was talking about, these Lego blocks, these pieces. So you have your TSA down here. This is a report you have right now. You can use it. You need to edit it, and you need to make sure it reflects your stack. but then you move over to here and you have a Office 365 audit. And that is another process. You want to edit that and make sure it reflects yours, but the template is there and ready to go. Supposedly, eventually, we're gonna have a BPA from Skip. Keep bugging him about it, but it's coming. A best practices audit. It's looking good. I've seen it. It exists.
Yep.
But as you have these Lego blocks through here, these different processes, maybe you have a security one or a risk analysis. And those are all reports that you can have in managed services platform. And the next level down from that is your procedures. So these are all your processes. If you've ever been to a good management class, here are your procedures. And people ask me, you know, like, where are you differentiating yourself at? Down here is what the technology stack audit is going to say. You are not using our standard firewall. You're using some off-brand thing you bought off the shelf at Best Buy. We need to get that replaced. So, you know, your firewall process here gets kicked off in Kaseya or ConnectWise or whoever you're using. Same thing with Office 365. They're not using Teams. And it gets kicked off and it's discovered in there. Like, you need to kick off a project to do Teams. That gets kicked off in ConnectWise, and the appropriate personnel are going to be used there to present that. Now, what is interesting is that the VCIO does not give a crap what's happening down here. That is all engineering. That is technical. That is account management. He does not care how things get done. He only cares that it did get done. And he's going to assume that it gets done. If something gets kicked off from the TSA, the assumption is that his team is awesome and they're capable and they're going to do this. If you're a very large MSP that has a lot of resources, what is fun is you don't give a crap how this is done either. Because at the high level, you as a VCIO are sitting here and going, all right, we have not run a TSA with this company. And you create a ticket that says, hey, Tam, you need to run a TSA. You need to run a Office 365. You need to run a best practices audit. So as you're creating these reports in Managed Service Platform, that is your delegation. That is your scalability. That is your process that's getting repeated over and over and over again consistently. So it's really important that these boxes be very trustworthy and these reports be very solid and living, so that as a VCIO, you're kicking this off. Some of you guys live in both of these squares, and that's okay. But just know that as your team grows, as things get bigger, busier, you're going to have a way to find you're going to find core competencies for your TAMs so you can delegate down and build a better VCIO team. Because one of the number one questions I get about these Lego blocks is that, how do I scale a VCIO offering? And the way you do that is you don't. You build a framework where you can delegate to appropriate personnel within your company as you grow. In the beginning, you might be a small, like, two-man shop. You're going to be across all three of these. But as you get more personnel, you're going to knock off that box down there. You're no longer going to care about this down here. As you get even bigger, you're no longer going to care about this here, and you're just going to live in the strategy world up here. And for those of you who own your MSPs, that's the dream, you know, like having this process that's taking care of itself and just making money, and clients are happy and it's consistently being provided services. So that is where we're trying to get. So, like, for instance, the masterclass series that Skip is doing is going to teach you how to do this component. The masterclass that I am doing is teaching you how to do this component. And maybe first quarter next year, if you guys want it, we'll do a masterclass series on Office 365. It's all up to you guys, though. We just need to know, what do you want and how do you want us to teach and what do you want to teach over time. It's all part of the VEP experience. But these Lego blocks are the big important part. You snap them in as you complete them so that you can hand off processes to employees, or when you're busy and you kick off this report, you go, oh yeah, I need to talk about these 10 things. Okay, I'll let Skip talk now.
Yeah, so yeah, I really like this, and this is a kind of a different take on that section that we do in the master class. And I see several of you guys have been in our master class on client engagement, and in that area we talk about it in roles, and we've got this quadrant. And I don't have a snazzy whiteboard that I can take over and do it with, but we've got this quadrant, and on our y-axis, we've got business goals, and on our x we're talking strategic. But in that bottom left quadrant, we're tactical and we're technical, and that's where a lot of us are in our MSPs, because we're patching things, and we're replacing monitors, and we're responding to tickets and all. But we know we want to expand out, and so one of the things we can think about that is there is an expansion of these roles, and they get more business focused and they get more strategic focused. So in Adam's perspective, when we go up the chart there, we're looking at business things. When we go up the chart, we're looking at strategic initiatives, and the lower technical stuff is going to be our technical teams and our account managers. So again, as you're building out these VCIO programs, you need to understand that it's not going to be all you. All right. And we are going to need to delegate. I'm getting the word out here. We'll need to delegate some of those things out. But these graphics and talking through these things, I think, helps us understand, and then to turn around within our own organizations and communicate these plans out. This is how we're going to develop this. This is how we're going to grow. This is how we're going to scale it. You guys are going to take care of these things. Our account managers, you guys are going to run these reports. Whoever's sitting in our VCIO seat, or what we also call it a technical VCIO seat sometimes, you guys are going to do these sort of activities. And that just helps us put all the pieces together. So yeah, even though it looks like one of my kids did it a while ago, I think Adam's board is very helpful.
I'm Christmassy right now. Right? It's good. I've scribbled this down a number of times, and so this is what I've been building the last 2 years. I've been building towards this, and I really believe in it. Having run in IT departments for the past 17 years and managed and team led at large organizations, small organizations. The more you scale, the more you need to be process driven, and you want to make sure those processes still have that human touch. And to that end, what? Go ahead.
Hey, I see that I get the TSA and the Office 365 and the BPA. What's the last two? I can't seem to make those guys out.
Here, let me help you.
SDN and R. Very helpful. Thank you.
Security and risk analysis. I was just trying to pick two that, you can, I think you can grab the risk analysis as a report from, one of the vendors has a risk analysis report. The thing is, like, you have to decide what is it your pillars are, and in your program.
Yeah, the only thing I have to add to that, Adam, is, didn't you say you had an art minor in school?
Shh.
Oh wow.
I was sculpting, not drawing. Drawing, I'm all stick figures and happy-go-lucky great guys. You give me a piece of clay or a piece of wood, I'll show you some art.
Okay, all right.
Which is sad, because in college I went to when I had a nice art scholarship, but I never once got to touch a piece of clay or a piece of wood. They made me draw for 4 years. I'm sure every art teacher's like, what is up with this guy? Why is he in an art program? He's horrible. Like, you're right. We got these, I stand 6'6" and I weigh 300 pounds. I've got big, meaty paws. Like, I do not lend to detail work. So I'm an IT guy. I'm great in data centers. Give me a keyboard, give me a large, Santa lift. I'm good. But give me a delicate little paintbrush and you're going to get finger painting. So thus whiteboards are awesome. So the other thing I wanted to show, if no one has any questions about this particular module process, I should probably be opening up the chat.
No, we're good.
We're good. All right. I kind of wanted to give you guys a sneak peek of it's almost done. I've just been I've been goofing around too much on the 3.0 beta. And if you guys are okay, I'll release it as a beta, because really the only thing that's missing right now is I haven't done my guided video up here. I know I've been talking about this for like 2 weeks now, but I've been pretty excited about it. And I keep scope creeping myself, and somebody like, oh yeah, well, what if this? And so I'll start adding that in. And I just need to find a spot in which I say, we're done, it's ready to go. So some of you are beta users. Some of you guys are on my beta list and have given me good feedback. Some of you have not seen this yet in your library, but you know, some of the advantages to this new report are that it is more dynamic for those of you who've watched the videos. And then we are getting a little bit more detailed with the score category results. And one of the scorecards that we just recently, recently pushed out there. So let me get over here to the reports. Skip, this drives me crazy. We need to yell at Danish about this. I hate that I have to come in here and delete and re-add every time.
Yeah, that temporary stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
I just want to dynamically update.
Of course. 2019.
All right, so I will call this 3.1. One of these days we need to go through and do a purge of all of our demo stuff.
Yeah, it's growing.
All right, so because I can't stand dead air, I will just talk while I do this. So what we have here is, this is the, oh man, what did I call it, people? It was 3.1, wasn't it? There it is. So we come in here, and now I've got my wonderful thing. So one of the things I built this week was I had no idea how the slider bars work. Is anybody here using the slider, the score category summary and results? Has any of you guys used that widget yet?
Yeah, there's two of them. You want the scorecard and the score category results. Yeah.
So the scorecard, I could not figure out how to use it for the life of me, and I was in the coaching session. We actually kind of solved it, and like, oh yeah, that's how it works. And so now I have this little slider tool I wanted to show you guys how to use, and that you can use this as kind of a pre-sales or a touch base on like, how do you feel about what we're doing? So I did this for how do you feel about technology and business in your company? And you can send this, like I created it in my template here, so you can send it to 10 people and get their feeling for a rating of how are things doing. And so this looks very familiar, just like the questionnaire does. And you come in here and you go, how important is uptime to your company? And so the client goes, you know, we really need to be available because we have students that are testing with us every week. How important is it to be cutting edge with your technology? You know what, we really value stability more than anything, but we need to have, we need to be competitive with other schools. So maybe a 6, 100% mobile workforce. We don't care, we're a school, the teacher's gonna be here anyways. They want to grade at home and that's about it, but most of the stuff they grade is physical paperwork. How do you feel like technology providers meeting your expectations? Oh yeah, it's Adam Walter. He's awesome. Do you feel you understand how technology is empowering your operations? Kind of. Is it supposed to be doing things? Maybe we need to have more conversations on that. So you click finish. And so up to the 10 people can do this one. I think you can select up to 100. And when you build this, it'll ask you 0 to 100. 0 means you'll just fill it out for them. And so once that's done, you'll see in your report that you have, so 0 of 10. So we refresh it.
And now you do have the
now
option
we
you
see
can.
that one person has filled this out, and you can see like how they scored you overall.
And you can fill those out in the report as well. You don't have to send those out to another link. When you set those, now you have to decide one or the other, but when you set those sliders up, you can say, hey, we're going to do this in the report, or you can show like Adam has here, and we're going to ship these out to multiple people, or you can pop it out yourself if you just want that flexibility built into your template.
So you guys can think about like how this would be useful for you, whether it's rate how we're doing and have a 10-part questionnaire that you send out before every QBR, or have a rate your existing MSP, or just use it. This is a slider. How do you feel? You know, if you watch Star Trek at all, like how does Spock feel? Like what is actually going on in this situation? And you can send out, so like here, yeah, 10 people, it'll average it, so you get a nice score. Like this is how the MSP is doing. So having like a 360 or something, that's how I kind of see this working. And so when you go into the report template, edit this, add your own questions in there, add more questions in there, and you'll see that it's very useful.
Now, one of the deals, so, you know, if you guys think back, you know, this differs quite a bit from our assessment type questions, where we're trying to figure out if they're compliant, you know, current state and future state. And we have that set up as a statement. You know, it's very binary. Either you're compliant or you're not compliant. And so, you know, we put it in those two categories. And I think this is a good option to drop in with some of your engagements with your clients, especially on a pre-sales sort of basis, where, you know, you're really not doing a full assessment. You're not asking such, you know, binary type questions. You're asking your clients to rate things and where are they at. And when you do that, and what Adam doesn't have there is you can actually put in multiple of those scorecards, and you'll get a nice little dashboard. So then you can break that into different categories. You know, if you want to do like a pre-sales engagement and you want to ask them about their support, well, that would show up in a series of sliders. You'll get a bar on that. Or then you want to ask them about their infrastructure. Well, that might be another one. And then you want to ask about cloud services or billing, or, you know, whatever the options you want.
So you'll
end up building out a nice dashboard of sliders that way.
So you're telling me that if I go back over here, oh, come on, Adam. Fine. Screw it. All right. So you're telling me that if I go over here and I fill this out, I go to reports, I should be able to create multiple scorecards in my that'd be really cool. So we're going to do this. We're going to do a nice little workshop here. So if you open up your report demo, let's go over to my template here. Let's go to my 3.1. Let's add a section. Let's see here. I'm going to add another assessment section. So I should be able to go down here and I should be able to add another scorecard.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And so I can say, now here's the thing, this is what got me confused, was the 0. 0 means you can't send it to anybody, that you'll just fill it out in your report in line. And that's okay if you're going to ask some on-site questions. But if you're going to send to like, hey, they have 15 people, let's send it to up to 15 people.
Yep.
Or 10 people or whatever you want. Now I can send it to 10 people. And we have blah for questionnaire text, blah for questionnaire text, or you can add in your HTML like I do. First question. Okay, so I should be able to save this from what Skip's telling me, or add another one in really quick. Oh, scorecard 2. Oh, it's technically 3. And then we're going to have this one filled internally.
I hadn't played around with that and doing it somewhat.
Oh, I'm all about breaking things, guys.
There we go. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that works out.
Everybody's curious here. All right, let's see what happens here. So we click save.
All right, while you navigate over to the report, I'm going to see if I can grab your screen. All right, so I'm beating you to the punch. I did this the other day. I can't share much. This is an internal
I'm almost
one
there.
for other clients.
I'm
But
almost
so
there.
what you just saw Adam do, and he'll bring it up so we see the exact stuff, but now we can see this in here. I can make some, changes in the report while they're doing this. And so we fill this out, and now we get this series of, it's essentially another dashboard that can rate a whole nother section of, variables, so that we can, we can generate fewer reports and get more done with the reports that we have. So let me switch over. You got that up?
I'm ready.
Adam?
I'm ready to go. I'm fast.
All right. There we go. So
All right,
let's see what it looks like. That was mine, which will look a little different, but now,
what? Well, Skip has his way. Then we have the right way, which is this guy right here. I got to make that joke twice today. It's awesome.
there you go. Okay.
So
He's barely half over too.
What we have here is you saw me build it, you saw me save my template, and I added it to this client. That's all I did. So one of the as we've mentioned the last couple sessions is you can drag things up. And so I've got my scorecard down here. So as you can see, I've got scorecard 3 and the original scorecard example, just to show you guys how it's done. But we need the results, right? Let's throw those up there too. Let's throw up the summary. So now we got all these metrics, and this one I can fill out myself internally. So while I'm sitting in the meeting, I can scale that one. But then when I do my one I'm filling out with the clients, I have shared this with them previously, hopefully, and had them fill out their session. Interesting. And it's done. And now we can see that scorecard should be filled out as well at the top as an average. So, you guys can decide how you want to use this, but I'm already, scroll down too far. I already have my ideas on how to do this for like rate us on our service levels, rate us on our ability to help you, rate us on, and then go down the list. And then in here, you can talk through like, how do we feel about things? So I almost feel like something like this should be something that you do yourself. Like we in the meeting with them, like how important is this? And explain to them what you mean by uptime. Well, everybody thinks uptime should be 10, right? Well, is it more important that you're up or more important that you're secure? And like where do you want to spend your money? If you had to buy one thing that would either guarantee you 100% uptime or 100% security, what would you buy? So you can have these nice conversations as a TAM or as an on-site item. And we can build a good measurement for where you are. To me, this is a huge QBR tool. This is get us a status update so I as a VCIO know where we're going. That's important to me. I need to know where we are so I can plan out the next quarter. If your technical guys are scoring really low this quarter, maybe you guys have your own heartbeat intervals that you're using, then at least on my dashboard, I say, man, why do they only score at 30%? Like, well, let me tell you about how bad Chris is doing this month. That guy totally speared beer all over my keyboard right in the morning. And,
It wasn't even 10 o'clock.
It wasn't even 11 o'clock. And, that you're getting that feedback right on. Like, well, maybe I should talk to Chris about his beer consumption, or at least move him to whiskey in the morning where it doesn't spill as much. So the thing is, you're getting that feedback. You're keeping that conversation going on a quarterly basis. And so that is where version 3.0 of the strategy development is going. So that when you're sitting at the top here and you're building out your Legos underneath, you're getting that strategy report, this 3.0, which, hopefully will be coming out, and will measure the TSA. We'll measure the Office 365, measure the BAPA, but at the same time, this is just kicking those off in your questionnaire, and you're also getting a heartbeat up here to keep the client happy, to say, where do you need to go? Well, we did the TSA, but now our scores are going down on customer service, or, you know, you go over to measure your quarterly goals and you're not quite there. So when you're talking about the strategic document in your quarterly session, you know, you flipped it up there and you're doing your quarterly analysis. Hey, we're in our quarterly now. And you're able to say, all right, how are we doing this quarter? And you go through and you look at your heartbeats and you see, oh man, we did that new firewall update, but now we're scoring really low on service. So we need to figure out what's going on there. Let's make it a priority this next quarter to double check our SLAs, or to make sure that that new firewall that got put in is really doing what it's supposed to be doing. I, as a VCO, I'm going to make that a priority with the teams. And that's how you use the new version. The old version, 2.4, is what you guys currently have, is built more statically and more as a just pull it up, hand it out, and then go to your whiteboard, because that's how I do things. This new report is meant for something to be sitting in the background on a projector, or being sitting on the screen and giving an update to what the environment is supposed to be. This is really cool. This is something I learned this session that I didn't know about. And I really see a lot of potential for this tool, maybe version 3.5. As you guys give me,
I will say one thing, you know, practically speaking, having these sliders and using these and filling them out real time with your clients is a fantastic tool. You know, you've heard me say over and over again, we're moving away from presentation to conversation. And
yes,
when you're able to look at your client in the face and say, so how are we rating here? And you know, you got your finger on the mouse and you're dragging it back and forth and you're asking 6, 10, 3, where are we on this list? You know, you're really gonna force them to say, you know, I give you guys a 2. That just, it wasn't working, you know. That's awesome. I mean, you know, real information is, whether it's good or bad, is really going to help us out in our engagements with our clients. So yeah, these are really cool tools to drop into pretty much all of your engagements, because it really ties people in. You get them involved and you start these conversations and you get away from those presentations.
yeah, you know, the dopamine burst of showing people like, hey, you're improving. Anytime you can do that, you're gonna create customer loyalty. It's just the way it works. And so, like, building out your stack down here below, like building up the questionnaire, so you don't just have one overall score, but we're measuring on different metrics. So here, this is the old report. We just had one measurement tool. Now we have a whole series of scores we're going to give them. Where are they on strategic, quarterly, with technical? Now, I'm going to give you guys one more piece of advice before we sign off here, is like, when you're using version 3.0 of the document, you really want to, let's see here, I think I have a template up here somewhere. You really want to be thinking in terms of, how does your service break down in your organization? So if anybody wants a copy of this spreadsheet, I will send it to you. Just tell me if you want it in Excel or Google. But this is what I talk to coaching clients about. You need to come up with a comprehensive listing of all your services and put them in column G. You need to break those services into groups that you want to measure: infrastructure management, security, strategy, application management, whatever it is. And that's these down here, these boxes. And you said what boxes at your company are your most important areas. Break all your services in those categories. Ask a question that you can ask a 5th grader about each one of those. Don't ask them about layer 7 networking. Don't ask them about, you know, QoS or anything like that. Ask them like, hey, do you like your internet to be fast? Do you like your internet to be stable? Those are questions that are good. And then break them into these categories so that when you make your strategy development report, that it is breaking those categories out right. Oops, wrong one. That's breaking them into the categories right here. So in this situation, column A is these things. The measurement tools, the scoring is going to be how many of these questions they answered yes to, or a future state to. And that is going to recommend a service, which you will kick off in ConnectWise, Kaseya, or whatever your ticketing tool is. that's the thing I will leave you with. If you guys want to copy this spreadsheet so you can fill it out on your own, do so. And then once you have it filled out, you just got to go down to your questionnaire section. Come on, Adam, open this up. And just add those in here, like change the title of this to what's in column A. Change the title of this to what is in column G. And then ask your questions and add your service next to it. You're done. The service templates are already there. If there's any gaps in the service templates as well, guys, send me emails, send it to coaching@virtualc.biz. If there's some service that's not there for recommendation, we'll build it for you. Just send us the name of the service that you want and the deliverables, and we'll add it to the template library. It should be pretty comprehensive. You should just be able to add a question here and then select one service from the dropdown. And that's all I have today. You got anything else to share, Skip?
No, that's great. Just one final comment on those projects. Yeah, there are a lot of templates out there in the inventory there under service catalog. When you go to setup, click service catalog, you'll see all of those projects out there. There's probably one there that matches pretty close to what you're looking at. So we know we're not going to have the perfect project templated for you. That's really unrealistic. So find one that, is pretty close. Go in there, change, HP to Dell or whatever, might be in there that's a little, specific that needs to be adjusted for you guys, and run with that. I think that those will save you a lot of time. If you do come across one, to echo what Adam's statement was there earlier, if you do come across one, it's like, hey, this is missing. Yeah, let us know. We'd love to put that in the inventory. So we have a really complete set of projects for you guys to pick and run with.
And look for the email from us for the sign up for that webinar series for either operational or from Skip or from for strategic. And those are series, not mandatory. We will record all the sessions. You can always digest them as part of the VEP program. But if you want to come live and ask questions, and if you happen to be the only one in the session, yeah, you got a free coaching session.
There you go.
So look for that email to come out. It'll be coming from the VEP. Subscribe to the VEP subscriber list. It's a nice, pretty email, either Monday or Tuesday. So we'll look forward to seeing you guys. Thanks for attending today.
We'll need to get it before Tuesday because the first session kicks off Tuesday at 2:00 Central Time.
All right. Well, I will try to get something out today then if I can.
All right. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. See y'all later.
See ya.